Hi, my name is Anna Jiang, and I am a senior studying economics and public policy. And I wrote my public policy thesis on child marriage in the United States, an exploration of related factors, along with my advisors, Dr. Lansford and Dr. Boucher. So child marriage is the legal union of a minor to another minor or adult, and many countries, including the US, have pledged to end the practice by 2030 under the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. But however, in the US, child marriage is still legal in 44 states. Only 6 have abolished the practice, and around 250,000 children were married in the decade between 2000 and 2010. And so child marriage is harmful for a plethora of factors, including impacts on minors, as well as the widespread community. In the US, the average American commonly believes that child marriage is illegal and tend to overestimate its global precedence, as well as kind of the overall literature on the topic, focusing largely on instances of the practice in the rest of the world. And so my research question was, what are kind of the different social, institutional, economic, and cultural factors that are related to child marriage in the US? And so to kind of investigate this, I leveraged 4 different data sources: the American Community Survey for male and females aged 15 through 19, as well as the Frontline Report, as well as the Unchained at Last study, both of which provided different child marriage rates. And then I regressed against 8 predictors of the practice, including the restrictiveness of marriage laws, political lean of a state, education quality within a state, religiosity of a state, access to abortion within a state, median household income, population density, and the number of state law loopholes that might make it easier or harder for a child to get married. And so some of these state laws include whether or not official proof of age is required or whether a waiting period is required. And so this table shows kind of differences among the states. And then in terms of methods, I conducted some summary statistics as well as bivariate correlations within child marriage rates within predictors and between child marriage rates and predictors, as well as linear regressions, including models with all 8 predictors against each of the child marriage rates, as well as more restricted models, including only the most highly correlated. And so these are some of the results from that. One big challenge, obviously, is multicollinearity, since a lot of my predictors are highly predictive of each other. But in terms of results, we found that for ACS marriage rates, for significant predictors for females included access to abortion, religiosity, and for males included education quality, state laws, and politically. The Frontline Report, the only significant predictor was politically, and for the Unchained at Last study, the only significant predictor was the significant predictors were political lean, education quality, and population density, meaning that political lean and education quality are 2 of the stronger predictors. And so some key takeaways from this include, first, that there is a significant lack of clear, accessible, and accurate data on child marriage in the US. And so for future studies, that's super important to start having better practices in terms of collecting, but also just maintaining these records. Additionally, political affiliation, party ideology may play an important role in the deception of child marriage, as well as passage of legislation to limit it. So it's kind of both sides of the table predictor. And then the last takeaway is that high quality education starting at a young age is an important factor, both within the US and globally, which is kind of interesting considering how different the practice can be in other aspects.